Started hollering at Zach. The guy said, "Y'all some bad mother effers."
Oh my God, this is so freaking frustrating. I just changed it.
Better stay right on my tail.
Looks like the uncle's having a big old party.
Next week, when temperature is close to 100 degrees and not a chance of rain in sight. Try to not tear the planter up again, please. This heat wave that we're in now is the worst one that we've seen since 2012.
That outside tire is flat.
I take this thing to a tractor pull.
Can I quit? Because I would like to quit.
Zach just texted me that video. Don't know how well you can see it. That's a farmer that we know real well. Apparently his combine caught on fire and it set the entire wheat field on fire. And if you can't tell, that's wheat that hadn't been cut yet. So it's a total loss. So anyway, I texted him to see if there's any way I could help because we'll be done tomorrow. And he said they were able to save the combine, thank God. Did cause some damage to the combine, wiring harnesses, and I think it might have been the chopper bearing that actually started it, but they were able to put the combine out and save it, but they wound up losing, he said, like 70 acres of wheat. And with wheat at, $10 a bushel right now, just say it's making 70 bushels an acre. Their wheat was probably making quite a bit higher than that, but say 70 bushels an acre, you're looking at $700 times 70 acres. What's that? $49,000. That I don't know if that's something that crop insurance would pay for, and unless they had individual coverage on that one farm, it probably wouldn't even be enough to draw a claim. But man, I tell you what, you got combines with all these moving parts and bearings, and then you got some hot, dry conditions like we got right now. One single spark, whether it's from your machine or somebody smoking in the field, or heck, even somebody driving down the road smoking, throwing a cigarette butt out the window. This stuff can go up like newspaper. Really dangerous. But thank goodness for them, they were able to save the combine. Sure, it caused some damage, but still, even though insurance would pay, to have it repaired, if it wound up being totaled out, which if it had burned much more, probably would have been totaled out. Just finding a replacement combine right now is next to impossible because there's just not much inventory out there of anything, either new or used, because of all the problems we've seen during the pandemic. Finding spare equipment is really tough. But hopefully they can get that combine fixed pretty easily and pretty quickly. I offered to come over there and help if they needed me to. I don't know how close they are to getting done, and I haven't talked with them all. I don't know if they're running one combine or two combines, but if they're running two combines, they still got another one running, fortunately. And I don't know how close they were to getting done. But told them to offer stands. They need me to come. I can be over there really quick because we'll be done, tomorrow afternoon, God willing. But that is one reason. About 4 years ago, I've got a guy that comes out once a year and he checks all of our fire extinguishers on our equipment, because that was something I'd been real lax about, just assuming that, well, I haven't used a fire extinguisher, it ought to still be good, and that's not necessarily the case. So I got a guy that comes out and checks fire extinguishers on all equipment. We started putting fire extinguishers on more equipment. Like I used to not have one in the water truck, used to not have one on the service truck, used to not have them in the shop. Now I've got fire extinguishers in all of those places, just because I found out the hard way. You just never know when or where fire might strike. And there's very few things that are as devastating as what a fire can be. So if y'all farm, if y'all run equipment, and that's something y'all ain't given much thought about, I'd highly encourage you. Check your fire extinguishers. It's one of the most important pieces of safety equipment you can have on your equipment that could prevent thousands, well, potentially millions of dollars worth of damage. All right, our bushel counter says 40,008 bushels. So if my yield monitor is correct, we have now harvested enough wheat to fill all of my contracts, and everything we harvest after this, we can sell for market price, which is really high right now. At the river where I'm delivering my wheat, I think I can get about $10.50 a bushel for it right now. So from here on out, for the next 55 acres until we get done, there's gonna be some really good money on this wheat coming in. We got just a couple more passes on this farm, and then we'll be making the drive that all of us hate down Ashport Road to get to our farthest farm. Kind of got a winding road with not very much of a shoulder on it, and people drive like they're on the Autobahn. Carter's gonna get his first taste of driving down a road like that. We think he's old enough and mature enough. As long as he stays right behind me, he should be okay. So he's gonna get his first taste of some city driving. All right, Carter, you stay on my butt as close as you can. Let me know if anybody is behind you, and I'll determine if it's safe. I'll determine where it's safe for us to pull off and let them by. Zach's going to do his best to try and block traffic when we get in tight spots. But we've had people go off the ditch and drive around him, not paying any attention to what he's trying to do. So some places I just don't have very much room to pull off. There's nothing I can do about it. Alright, you see this person up here is pulled off a road, which is a nice gesture, but he's right next to a mailbox and I can't squeeze by. This is why it's best just to keep on approaching the vehicle, just to keep on approaching the farm equipment, because we look for stuff like this. That was about as miserable as it gets. Anybody want to give me 30 acres to replace this farm with? Well, there's my screw up once again. Apparently I missed a pass with the drill when I was finishing up last year. I really don't know how, but of course it's right out here by the road for everybody to see. And all grown up with weeds. I guess I could say that that's a cover crop though, can I? Why do all of the mistakes seem to happen right there by the road for everybody to see? That's a mystery I haven't figured out yet. Apparently I'm gonna have some more work to do on this farm. See that right there? Can you guess what that is? That's four-wheeler tracks. And this is a problem we've had on this farm ever since we picked it up. If you watch the American Farm, the show that we were on, the episode where we were cutting down trees to stop the ATV riders, that was this farm. And we definitely slowed them up, and I thought we stopped them, and then 2 years ago, the landlord had this farm logged, which pretty much destroyed all the trails. Hadn't had any problems last year, but apparently they've come back, just making their ways straight through the field and riding very expensive wheat down. So it looks like I might have to bring the old chainsaw back over here and do some more lumberjacking and blocking some trails. Apparently no trespassing signs is not enough to keep these folks off the field. You know, if they would just stay right around the edge of the field, not destroy crop, I wouldn't have a big problem being over here. But when you just make a nice loop out through the field and laying over wheat, I mean, there's literally no excuse for that other than just complete and utter disrespect. So now there's wheat on the ground that I can't pick up with my header. Those of you that are parents out there, if you haven't already had this conversation with your kids, please have that conversation about respecting other people's property, asking for permission before you go on somebody else's property. Not just, don't disregard other people's stuff because you think you won't get caught or think it doesn't matter or for whatever reason. That's a conversation I've had with all three of my kids. All three of them have had the opportunity to either own their own four-wheeler or dirt bike or whatever, or they've ridden mine. And whenever they say where they're going riding, I always make sure that they have got permission to be on that piece of land.
Yeah, go ahead.
This farm ain't yielding near what it looks, and I really, with this new variety, I really don't want to have to sweep another bin. I think if we just leave this truck loaded up that Carter's about to load you up with, if we leave it loaded up overnight, I can haul it to Bungie first thing in the morning. Annie said the lines haven't been bad first thing in the morning, and then we should be able to fit the rest of it in that loadout bin and kind of prevent us from having to clean out another bin this summer.
Okay. So we're just going to load this up and leave it parked, correct?
Yeah, just go ahead and make sure we got enough fuel in the truck, and I'll run it. I'll leave out early tomorrow morning and run it, and you just go ahead and I guess just finish spraying the Ed Smith farm and see if you can get with Kelly about getting stuff moved up there to the Hart farm.
Okay.
Hello?
Driving down the middle of the field, I was turning, not sharp, and it washed out over there by the entrance. The 3-point hitch arms caught the electrical shit again. I didn't tear it all to pieces because it slammed on the brakes, but I don't have a PDM cable. And I fixed all the airlines and actually folded up, and everything else is fine.
All right, just park it up there at Todd Farm and just leave the thing.
I'm sorry. I have been extremely careful, and it caught it. I watched it catch it in slow motion, and I did the best I could.
I'm not fussing at you, Kelly.
But we gotta do something because this is ridiculous.
No, Kelly. You think I don't know that?
I'm asking how we can fix this.
Oh, obviously I don't know. Otherwise, I would have fixed it where it wouldn't happen again.
Do you want me to bring the tractor back to the shop or no?
No, take it up there to the Todd Farm and park it, and I'll figure out. I'll fix it tonight. Nope, we're not headed to the field this morning. We are going back up to Union City yet again because late yesterday evening, the can extension harness that goes from my precision planting monitor back to the PDM on the planter somehow got snagged by the tire again yesterday and ripped it to shreds. I have no idea how that happened. Kelly doesn't have any idea how that happened. Fortunately, it just grabbed some airlines and the can harness and didn't grab any hydraulic hoses. But still, I mean, we had that sucker zip tied up tight. It's absolutely inconceivable how it happened. But it did happen. When you get to this point in the season and you see things that have never happened before and you have no idea how they happened or how they could happen, but not only does it happen once, it happens twice. You just gotta laugh and shake your head and say, we're almost done. We've only got about 35 acres of wheat left to cut, but Kelly's still a pretty good ways away on planting because all the problems she's had. I've actually cut more wheat in a day than what she's planted today. Like yesterday, she had to quit early because the extension harness broke. She also down a few hours with that flat tire. I think she planted a grand total of about 40 acres yesterday. hopefully we'll be done cutting weed, you know, mid-afternoon or so, and this 2-hour round trip to Union City is not helping get anything done quickly though.
Well, we're down to the very end, and we figured out that we've got a third variety planted over the wheat acres. We got the one little bin, smallest bin tied up. And all we got left are big bins. So instead of putting at max 2,500, 3,000 bushels of this third variety in one of these big bins and have to spend an hour sweeping it, we're just gonna haul it off. We've made enough wheat to where we've got a cushion over contract, so we're just gonna haul off this third variety. That's what I'm doing this morning. I'm rolling out a little bit early to get up to Dyersburg and start hauling wheat 2022. Hopefully by the time I get back, Matt's got everything serviced and ready to go, and we will button up wheat harvest today.
Planter is fixed for the upteenth time this year, hopefully the last time. Well, that is the last time. If it breaks down again, I'm just gonna go hook up to the drill and finish up planting that way. Anyway, me and Carter head back over the wheat fields. That's gonna help Kelly fill up with seed and see we can get these last, I don't know, 35, 40 acres knocked out in a reasonable amount of time. No, I'm ready for some AC because it's done got hot again. Instead of having a wet shirt, I've got a muddy shirt after working on that dusty planter.
It's a balmy 100 degrees today with the heat index about 110. Finally had to come back and finish this. Yesterday I was turning right here, lining up, hit that big washout, and I had another accident. So the 3-point hitch, all this, which includes the brain, everything, before we tied it, was over here. And this swung, caught this bundle, and pulled it. And when it did, it yanked everything. But it only broke the airlines, which I was fixed. And unfortunately, it broke the PDM cable yet again. So now it's 2 PDM cables. So I was very frustrated, ticked off. I followed the cables and the airlines all the way down to the box, made sure no hoses were damaged. Did have some rubbing going on with this electrical, but I just used some electrical tape. But nothing, everything was working just fine. Now we have it like this. When they say it can't happen, it happens on our farm. So, and it happened to me twice. It just really upset me. So, and today, coming over here, I was turning to come in here and a lady came within 2 feet of hitting the planter. I swear, I can't farm in this city anymore. I just can't. These people are absolutely, they just don't care. You have your left turn signal on and you're turning into a driveway, but you want to go around them. Oh man. Anyway, so it's hot. It is 2 o'clock. And I'm finally done with this, and I still have 44 Acres to go over there. And I still have to do 30 acres where they're at. So, oh, and another 20.
Now, watching the latest weather forecast from Ryan Hall, and you know how I've been telling you it's getting dry. According to him, not looking like it's going to improve anytime soon.
I pulled this all the way out for the next 16 days. And what this model shows us is, compared to normal, how much rain are we going to receive over the next 2 weeks or so. And you can see here that we are bone dry through a lot of this region, which is going to aid in that developing drought. Combine that ultra dry weather with the heat, and we're talking about an even bigger problem. We're still several degrees, possibly close to 20 degrees above normal.
So to put it in layman's terms, it ain't looking good for the corn crop.
If we get done early today, I'm gonna try to go like creek riding later because it's hot.
And what are you gonna be riding then?
Well, hopefully we get done before that so we can try to attempt to fix this goober sitting up there on the shop. For the 15th millionth time.
Well, if you'd help me blow off and service the combine the other night, we could already have your four-wheeler fixed.
I also like to see it sit sometimes because it likes to show, I don't know, I like to make it sit there so it don't break next time when I ride it.
You trying to teach it a lesson or something?
Yeah.
No, we're not done with this farm, but we gotta go down that infamous stretch of road to get to the last little field on this farm. I can't get this thing straight for nothing. Well, apparently we got an admirer. See a blue shirt right there, front corner of Carter's cab. It's a guy that lives over here in Jackson. He likes to come out to this field and take pictures of the crops. He's out here taking pictures of us finishing up the wheat harvest here. All right, you ready to go to the last farm of wheat? All right, Carter, we will wait on the side of the road where the truck is for you to unload so you can get right back behind me again, and we go on back over to the Campbell's home place. All right, here comes the stretch I hate. No room on the right, no room on the left, and I'm as wide as both lanes. All right, we're gonna pull here on these train tracks, wait on Carter, and hope no train comes along and sideswipes me. Carter, man, you handled that move like a pro. That was one of the most difficult moves you'll ever do. Man, you did it great. I'm proud of you. So you did so good. You want to come run the combine while I carry Zach back to the truck? I got the last 25 acres of wheat to do. Come on, I gotta show you something. You see all of that over there, we see those orange cones and there's some flags. Don't cut over there because they got water lines running and stick up. So this power pole right here, don't cut past it. And when you go down that side, that oak tree right in front of that barn, don't cut past it. I'll get all that over there, okay? All right, I'll be back soon as I can.
That's crazy because it's so dry and this ground is so hard that it is legit putting down 550 applied downforce. That's crazy. Look at that. I don't know why it's me, but that is a coyote sitting in the road where I'm supposed to go. And he was in the bottom hill where I was, which was down there. And now he's been hanging out with me. I have to get out and check a unit, but he's sitting there watching me. I don't think you're a friendly coyote. Look, bro, I know it's hot. I don't want to get out either, but I'm gonna need you to move, please. Oh my God, he's laying down. He's laying down. Story of my life. Okay, apparently I have more friends. Now I got this deer out here. Dude, you better go. That coyote's looking for your butt. Hey, what are I'm telling you, it's plants out here and I'm not by myself.
Alright, let's get back. I really don't know what kind of pattern he's doing, but he got one load anyway. Good job there. Here, take your cheese puffs with you. I don't want your cheese puffs. There's some of our corn over there on some really thin hill ground, and it's holding on. It's twisting up in a few places, especially the thinnest areas of the field, but it's holding on surprisingly well so far. In fact, I can see a few tassels just starting to poke out over there. I imagine by the end of the week it's going to be looking a lot worse. So you can see it tasseling up. You can see it twisting up a little bit right in there. But overall, I'm really pleased with how it looks. If we can get a rain sometime this week, if the weatherman's wrong, we still stand a chance to make a good week. We still stand a chance to make a good corn crop. But after this week, if it's still hot and dry, there's not going to be any coming back from it. There's some of our early beans right there. We got 5 acres over here in this wet corner that we didn't plant in the wheat. Those are the last early season beans we planted back when we were planting full season beans, and they got their feet under them and starting to look. They look pretty dang good. They're starting to bloom, and that's what you want on early season beans, because right now it's June 21st. At least I think it's June 21st. That means the longest day of the year, the most potential sunlight that a plant can receive. And if you got a plant in the reproductive stage on June 21st, when there's the most potential sunlight, that's setting the stage for making the most potential yield that you can. Because without sunlight, plants can't make any product. Right now, I think sunrise is somewhere right around 5:30, and sunsets like 8:15 to 8:30. So, and with no rain in sight, they definitely getting a whole bunch of sunlight right now.
I'm never gonna get done. I now have a second flat tire. Yep, except this time it's that side. Last time it was that side. You can't see because it's so dusty out, but I got vacuum problems, the oil's getting too hot, I got warning lights, yeah. So now I have to wait for a service truck because I'm out here by myself with absolutely no tools to do anything. Yay! And the problem is I don't have a service truck, I don't have tools, I have nothing. So if I break down, I have to call someone. And it's so frustrating because I've been trying to fix things with what little I do have in this tractor, which is like nothing. So then I call someone and he gets mad because I'm like, I need you to come out here. They just need to leave me the service truck, or we need like a second truck out here with at least like tools that I can fix things with. This time I just need air, but I don't know if it's a flat or did it lose air. I mean, it was perfectly fine 2 hours ago when I did a walk around, because every 2 hours I walk around, and now, so it's frustrating because I'm out here by myself with nothing to fix anything without calling someone. So then they get mad because I have to call them because they have to come out here to help me fix things because I don't have anything out here to help me fix it. I mean, there's zip ties in there in the blue truck, but that's it. I don't have an air compressor to fill up a tire to see, or water to see if there's a hole in it. I don't have anything. I'm really hating this whole damsel in distress thing because I could just do the simple stuff if I had a service truck out here. Know what I'm saying?
Finally, here we are at the end. Took us about 2 days longer than I was wanting because I had problems with breakdowns, especially with the pointer, but we finally got it done. We just got another couple passes over here where going to be another house built. Actually, it's the landlord that owns it. It's his daughter wants to build right here on this corner of this farm, so certainly can't knock them for that. Anyway, they got flags out here and already got some water pipe running. mowed some of it down. I told them just to mow down the whole spot whenever they put all that stuff, but he didn't want to tear my weed up, so as you can tell, we got a few kind of alleyways we got to cut around. Got to appreciate a landlord that respects your crop like that. And they're putting the house on the roughest part of the field too, which doesn't hurt my feelings a dang bit. Anyway, my monitor's showing about 44,200 bushels off of 525 acres. We come in with a final average of around 85 bushels an acre, which is, that's about dead on what I thought it was going to do. But what surprised me is, you know, we had some really fantastic wheat on a few farms, and then we had some farms that just were not that good. And I think a lot of it came down to nitrogen. This farm right here really surprised me. This is one of our wetter farms. I really wasn't expecting the wheat to be great on it, but it actually wound up being great on it. No matter how many years you farm, there's always you can always learn something from every year that you do farm. And we still got enough hours of daylight left. I'm already nasty. We can get this thing back to the shop, and I can get it blown off real good and get it ready for the wash pad. That's probably going to be Carter's job for the next few days. Well, after he gets caught up on all the mowing we need to do, because our yards have gone to pot over the last week and a half that we've been cutting wheat. Lord, I want to take a minute and thank you for the bountiful wheat crop that we produced. Even though it wasn't as good as the awesome one that we had last year, Lord, with you blessed us with some really high prices. You blessed us with some good yields, and in the face of a lot of adversity this year, that's something that we sorely needed. You knew we needed it, and you provided it, Lord. Because of that, Lord, I give you my eternal thanks. I ask that you be with us as we go throughout the coming months and we tend to our summer crops, Lord. Lord, they're facing some tough conditions right now. Lord, I ask that you send us some rain. But I know you got a plan for our crops. You got a plan for us, and your plan is going to be perfect, and somehow you will provide for us, Lord. I've got that faith. Lord, I just ask that you give me the wisdom to do what's right for our crops, and help me to make the right decisions, and give me the strength to be able to get through any other difficulties that we'll face for the rest of the year. All these things I pray in Christ's name, amen. All right, Carter, now that we're done, you know what your job's going to be? I bet he don't even answer.
Taking off as long as possible all night.
You got jokes. Now you get to get your swimming trunks on and have some fun with the pressure washer. I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. I'll let you pick. You can either blow the combine off really, really good and I'll wash it, or I'll blow the combine off really, really good and you can wash it. Which one would you rather do?
I'm talking to you right now.
All right, then I'll make your decision for you. I'll blow the combine, you get to wash it. Even though my job is much, much more dirtier, and one I don't like more, it's also a lot quicker. I ain't heard nothing from that farmer whose combine caught on fire yesterday, so I guess they got things worked out. I guess they don't need us to come help. But I tell you what, that'd really make Carter mad if he gets started washing on this combine, and all of a sudden someone calls me, hey, need you to come cut some wheat, and then I go get the combine back dirty. Woo, boy, that'd make him mad. Alright guys, well I'm going to close out the video here. Don't know what's next. Know we'll be spraying some cotton next week. I got to finish planting some soybeans tomorrow. I hadn't heard anything from Kelly all day, which is definitely a good thing. But she's chugging on along, but I'll probably wrap up the soybean planting tomorrow. Got some test plots to plant. Cotton to spray next week. Really don't know what the next video is going to be. I'll have something for you here pretty soon. Anyway guys, appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next one.